No, saying like I feel like a lot of people like will come up to me and just be like, "You're a lot more quiet and chill than I thought you would be based on like what I've seen." Because
Fair.
like the
So you're,
internet
like,
is very over
flame-throwing,
the
like,
top, like
vodka
just being
out of, like, a Ferrari.
crazy. And like in David's vlogs, it's a highlight reel.
Yeah, 100%.
But like you put everything out there, so you are exactly who you are, and I think that's really cool.
Well, there's honestly a point in time where I feel like I was like faking that. You know what I mean? Like MTV wanted that image of me, and I was coming on being like, I'm so real. I don't give a fuck. I just fuck Tyga. But like none of it was real. Like it just was boring, and like it was like a forced. You know what I mean? Like I've definitely been in a position where people wanted me to be this like real ass bitch and like fit this role, and it's like I almost had to like get back to like, what are you doing? Like you started all of this by just not giving a fuck, and that's why like things like this now I'm like I don't give a fuck. Let's just do it. Like. But it took a second for sure, I guess, to get there.
I mean, I feel like when you like, it's weird because I see a lot of parallels. Being able to, obviously, from my perspective, like looking at your career in like a snapshot, it's like it seemed like you kind of went to YouTube to get away from the craziness of like whatever your life was at that point, like which was a while back. It was like 7 years ago you've been making YouTube videos. So it's like, but I feel like right now you're also at a point where you realize that the LA life also needs to be escaped from a little bit.
100%. And I kind of, that's so, am I like getting woke on this podcast? Is this like therapeutic for me? That was like, that's so true though. Cause it's like, I almost thought that was something I could run to,
right.
You know what I mean? From the toxicity of where I was from and my family. And then it was like, I got so engulfed in this. And obviously you guys realize some people aren't good and shit just, it's not always great. And then I kind of had to like almost come from the ground up. So like you were saying, it's not necessarily that like back then I was the realest that I'd ever been. I had a lot of flaws then. You know what I mean? Like my parents never like instilled anything that parents instill in you, like structure, responsibility, or schedule. I dropped out of high school at 15 because I couldn't even like go to school on time. Like so many of the mistakes I feel like I made in the beginning of my career were from lack of so many things like I needed, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like now I'm finally like hiring life coaches and learning that and like getting therapy and fixing. So if anything,
there was no obedience growing up?
No, I was rebelling against my parents like my entire life for sure. Because I don't really ever remember getting along with my family. Maybe I was like at like it's like 7 or 8 we got along type. But like after that we definitely, it was just like very chaotic, very rebellious, very like butting of heads. I moved
Is that
out
because
at
they're very rebellious in the same way you are? Or
I don't know how to put it. I do. It's just dark, and I get in trouble talking about it. It's very weird. My family was just very like abusive and just not dope.
not chill.
That's bad. That's a bad sentence. But like, you know, the way they raised me wasn't it. They just neglected me in like a lot of ways. I definitely didn't get like proper healthcare, proper food, proper schooling, proper love, proper nurturing, proper
But it's cool to see you like
I
to rise from that.
Yeah, push through that.
Well, I wanted to help like kids who like, you know what I mean? Like maybe they didn't have the best home life, or like people weren't, because that's the reality of it all. You know, we're not always all raised by like perfect families, and sometimes we just have to, you know, pick shit up and raise ourselves and whatever the fuck. And like I definitely had to do that, like raise myself from 15 to 22 now. So
yeah,
if I can help people
amazing.
Like with anything, it's like you can do it. Like don't kill yourself, you know, as dark as it is, it's the truth.
I think that's where like a lot of your independence comes from, honestly, because I think obviously your situation is not ideal, you know, with your parents and stuff like that. I totally understand that. So don't get me wrong, but like in a way it almost, I feel like, helped you gain your independence, because your family from the get-go was like, oh, we're not here to help you. So you never thought that they were there to like lift you up or help you or nurture you or anything like that. So you're like, oh, I'm going to have to do this fully for myself.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
100%. 110%. There was never that like, you know, everything that a family like instills, there was never like that reliability. Today, literally, like someone was like, I was paying my rent, right? And it was like a couple hours late. And I was freaking out to my life coach. He was like, the reason that you have this worry and stress is because you never had like a home that was like reliable, like, and it's always going to affect you in those ways. You know what I mean? Like you're always going to have to kind of pick up for things like that. But I've always just been real about it. And like, again, everything I feel like I am is because I was making up for what they like weren't, you know what I mean? Like they were so shitty and they were abusive and they were, you know, they treated me bad. And I was like, I don't want to be that. I want to treat people well. I want to like.
Damn.
So you do that.
Yeah. I can't even imagine
like
having a setback like that. I like knowing that I have my parents there and my family there to always like call or like literally for anything, be able to reach out and just like get their opinion, just talk to them about anything. that's a lot to have. That's a lot to like.
I think it's like something that everyone should be so grateful for, because
Yeah.
it's like when you
I
don't
agree.
have that, it's like you feel it 100%. Like holidays, all that shit. I definitely always, because I like, to be real, my family's like definitely very dead to me. Like, so like I'll probably never talk to them again. Like it's just, we're not cool. That's how it is. So Amari, my best friend, his family kind of took me in, and they're kind of like my mom and dad, and like I go to their house for the holidays and stuff. But even that like shows me the importance of like what it takes for them as a family of 3 kids to bring in like a 4th kid and
Yeah.
like put a stocking up for me every year and a plate out for me and like care. Like it's just it really does show me, like, you know what I mean, like it's a blessing. It's not something you just get. So that is why, like, too, on holidays and all that shit, I'm online. Like, if you know, if you don't feel love today, like, I love you. Like, I think I am just kind of like the island for misfits.
But that's cool that
It's
you were
cool.
you were able to take your situation and
Me
turn it
going to drink and
into
it being gone.
something so inspiring that you did.